Hey everyone, and welcome back. You guys know I love to get kind of geeky about car stuff.
Yeah, you do.
And today we're talking about something that's been getting a lot of attention online.
Yeah.
It's Valvoline Restore and Protect Full Synthetic 5W30.
Oh, I've seen that.
Have you seen the ads? I feel like they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're all over the place. And people are talking about it on the forums, too.
Yeah, exactly. People are definitely curious about this stuff. We're going to be looking at the Amazon page for this. It's got a crazy number of reviews, like 572. We'll get to those in a bit. But
Wow.
yeah, it's a lot to go through, but I think it'd be worth it. What we're really trying to figure out today is this oil worth all the hype?
Right.
Is it really something new and different, or is Valvoline just,
It's just good marketing.
just really good at marketing?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's definitely causing some buzz, especially with that claim about restoring your engine A&D, protecting it. That's pretty gold.
Yeah, like, is that even possible? We're going to find out. All right, so like I said, we're looking at the Amazon page, lots of info there. But first, let's just break down what this oil is, like the basics.
Okay, sure.
What are we even dealing with here?
So it's a full synthetic 5W30 motor oil.
Okay, so right off the bat, we know it's a higher quality than
Definitely. Yeah.
like your basic conventional oil.
Full synthetic is kind of the gold standard these days.
For sure, for sure. But like I said, it's the claims Valvoline is making that really stand out. Like, they say this oil can remove up to 100% of engine deposits.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a huge EE claim, right?
Yeah, it is. And to be fair, they do have some specifics about that.
Oh, like what?
Well, they're saying that 100% removal, it's based on their testing, of course.
Right.
But it takes continuous use over multiple oil changes. So you're not going to see that kind of result overnight.
Got it. So it's more like,
A long-term strategy.
yeah, like a commitment. You're in it for the long haul.
Exactly.
I mean, even if it get rid of like half the deposits, I think people would be pretty happy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially if you've got an older car,
Right, with a lot of miles.
Yeah, where those deposits have really built up over time. This is where that restore part of the name comes in, I guess.
Makes sense. It's like bringing your engine back to life. So we talked about restoring the engine, but what about the protect part? How are they claiming to prevent future damage?
They've got this thing called Liqui-Shield Technology.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on the page.
Yeah, I don't think they go into, like, all the technical details.
Yeah, they probably want to keep that a secret.
Right, their secret formula or whatever. But basically, it's supposed to create a barrier on the engine parts, and that's what stops new deposits from forming.
Okay, so like almost like a coating, but on a tiny microscopic level.
Yeah, something like that.
That's pretty cool. And I'm guessing that's connected to their other claim, too.
Yeah.
The one about 79% stronger anti-wear protection.
Yeah, most likely. That's compared to, like, the industry standard tests. So it's a big difference.
Yeah, that's not nothing.
Nope. And that's super important.
Oh,
Right?
totally. The less wear and tear on your engine, the longer it's going to last.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to be dealing with major engine problems before they have to.
Yeah, that gets expensive.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, there's one more thing we got to talk about before we get to those reviews.
What's that?
The price. This oil isn't cheap.
That's true. It's definitely a premium product. Looking at the Amazon page, it's $39.99 for a 5-quart bottle.
Yeah, that's more than double what some people are used to paying.
It is, for sure. But like we were saying, you got to weigh that against the potential benefits. Maybe it's worth it in the long run.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. But let's see what other people are saying about this oil. We've got 572 Amazon reviews to get through.
All right, let's dive in. I'm actually kind of curious what people are saying.
Me too, especially with all the hype. All right, let's start with the good stuff. What are people loving about this oil?
Well, the overall rating is 4.8 stars out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really high, especially with that many reviews.
Yeah, that's got to mean something.
It does. A lot of people are happy with it.
I bet they're talking about those claims we were just talking about, right?
Yep, exactly. Like, a lot of people are mentioning that their oil consumption went down after switching.
Oh, that's good. You don't want to be constantly topping off your oil.
Right, especially if you're driving an older car. And it can save you money, too. Less oil you have to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's plus. And what about performance? Like, do people feel a difference in how their engine runs?
Yeah, actually, a lot of reviews mention that their engine is running smoother and quieter.
Okay, now that's something I can get behind. Quiet and smooth. I like that.
Most people even say they feel like they have more power.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I'm kind of skeptical about that, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong.
Right. I guess it depends on how much gunk was in their engine before.
True, true.
Mhm.
Okay, so smoother, quieter, maybe even a bit more power.
Hmm.
What else? Are people actually seeing a difference when they change their oil? Like, Is the old oil super dirty, or are the engine parts looking cleaner?
You know, you're right. There are a bunch of reviews that talk about that.
Really?
Yeah, they say they're happy to see cleaner engine parts when they're changing the oil. Like, it's proof that it's actually working.
I bet that's satisfying.
I think so. Like, you can actually see the difference.
Totally.
Oh.
All right, well, we can't just focus on the good stuff. Let's be real. There are always going to be some people who aren't happy.
That's true.
So what are some of the, let's say, less enthusiastic reviews saying? What are people complaining about?
Well, most of the reviews are positive, like we said. But some people have had some issues, especially with engine noise.
Well, really? Like, their engine got noisier after using this oil.
Yeah, that's what some people are saying.
That's kind of weird, right? You'd think a good oil would make things quieter.
Well, it might actually be because the oil is doing its job.
Wait, so more noise could be a good thing?
It could be, yeah. Think of it like this. Your engine has all these little passages, right?
Right.
And over time, they get clogged up with gunk and deposits.
Like sludge, basically.
Exactly, like sludge. So when you put in this new oil with all its cleaning power, it can start to break up those deposits.
Okay, so that makes sense. But why would that make the engine louder?
Well, when those deposits break loose, they're going to move around in the engine.
Ah, I see what you're saying. It's like all that gunk is getting stirred up.
Yeah, exactly. And that can cause some noise, at least for a little while.
So it's like a temporary thing.
Hopefully, yeah. Once all that stuff gets flushed out, it should quiet down again.
And those cleaning agents, they're what's supposed to prevent new deposits from forming, right?
Right, that's the idea. That's where the Liqui-Shield technology comes in.
Okay, so it's like a two-step process. Clean first, then protect.
Exactly. But how long that noisy phase lasts, it probably depends on the engine.
Yeah, some engines are probably worse than others.
Right. And how much sludge there was to begin with.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So maybe you got to be patient for a bit. But what about the people who say their engine actually got quieter? Is that possible?
It's definitely possible. Once that initial cleaning phase is done and the Liqui-Shield kicks in, you should see a difference.
Okay, so it's like the long game.
Yeah, you're not going to see results overnight.
But wouldn't any good synthetic oil help prevent deposits? Like, is this Liqui-Shield really that special?
That's a good question. I mean, it's hard to say for sure without, like, independent testing.
Yeah, they're always going to say their stuff is the best.
Right, of course. But, I actually have a friend who tried this oil.
Oh, yeah. What did he think?
He's got this old truck, like 200,000 miles on it.
Wow, that's a lot of miles.
Yeah, it is. And he was having all sorts of problems with it. Burning oil, noisy engine, the whole 9 yards.
So he tried this oil, and what happened?
He said it made a huge difference. The engine quieted down. He wasn't burning as much oil.
Really? That's impressive.
Yeah, he was pretty happy with it. And he told all his friends to try it too, so.
Well, that's a good endorsement. It sounds like this oil might be a good option for people with older cars.
It could be, yeah. If you're trying to keep that old engine running, it might be worth a shot.
Right, like giving it a second lease on life.
Yeah.
But what about people with newer cars? Would they benefit from this oil too?
It's hard to say. If you've got a newer car and you've been taking good care of it, using good oil,
You probably are doing okay.
yeah, you might not see as much of a difference.
So it's not like a magic bullet for every engine.
Right. It's more about targeting specific needs.
It's like older engines that need a little extra help.
Exactly. And it always comes back to that price, too.
Yeah, it's definitely something to consider. $40 a bottle, that adds up.
It does. So the question is it worth the extra cost?
That's tough, right? Like, is it a splurge or is it an investment?
That's the question, yeah.
You got to balance it out.
Yeah.
Car stuff can get expensive, so.
It can, yeah.
I'm always looking for ways to save money. But sometimes, you got to spend a little to save a lot.
Exactly. That's what you got to think about with this oil.
Okay, so how could spending more on oil
Mm.
actually save you money? That seems kind of backwards.
Think about it. What's the most expensive thing that can go wrong with your engine?
Oh, I know, a major repair, like rebuilding the whole thing. That can cost thousands.
Exactly. And that's what this oil is trying to prevent.
So it's like an insurance policy.
Kind of, yeah. You're paying a little extra up front to protect yourself from a much bigger expense down the road.
Okay, I get it. Especially with an older car, you might be willing to spend a bit more on oil if it can keep your engine running.
Yeah, it could be worth it.
Yeah.
If you can get another couple years out of your car, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you're not making car payments, you're not buying a new car.
Right,
So
exactly.
you got to factor all that in. But let's be real, this oil isn't a miracle worker, right?
No, definitely not. It can't fix everything.
Like, if your engine is already messed up, this oil isn't going to magically fix it.
It's not a cure, it's more like a preventative measure.
Okay, so you got to be realistic about what it can do.
Exactly. It's about maintenance, about keeping things running smoothly.
Right, so it's part of a bigger strategy.
Yeah, regular oil changes, using good quality products, taking your car to a mechanic when you need to.
Yeah, all that stuff is important.
Definitely. And a good mechanic can tell you if this oil is right for your car.
That's a good point. You don't want to just guess. It's better to get a professional opinion.
Absolutely. They can see what's going on under the hood and give you some personalized advice.
Okay, so bottom line, is Valvoline Restore and Protect worth it?
I think it depends on your situation. How old is your car? How many miles are on it? What's your budget?
And what are you hoping to get out of it?
Yeah, what are your goals? Are you trying to squeeze a few more years out of an old car? Or are you just looking for the best protection for a newer engine?
It's a lot to think about.
It is, yeah. But hopefully this deep dive has given you some things to consider.
I think so. And like always, we'd love to hear from you guys. Have you tried this oil? What were your results?
Yeah, let us know. And if you have any other suggestions for oils we should look at, we're always open to ideas.
Exactly. We're all learning together here. So hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, happy driving.